So while we're waiting to get started, go ahead and start thinking about why are you here today? I'm interested in knowing what your thoughts are that made you show up, sign up for the Fit for December challenge if you've done that already. So you can think about it in your head, but if you feel okay, pop in the comments, tell me some reason why you showed up today. What are you hoping to uh, achieve? Do you have a goal already in mind? And then if you already have some goals in mind, we'll definitely refine it today. Hi, Tara. Great to see you all. Sweet. We got Tara, Beth, and Brandy in the comments. We got 9 people on the live, it looks like. So we are getting ready to go. Yeah, so I think December is a great time to get started. Hi, Fleta, with goal setting, not waiting to New Year's because well, traditionally, there's tons of parties and food and sweets. I know I've already been eating too many sweets. And yes, to not derail in December, exactly. If we can kind of have some focus this month, we're going to be in a much better place January 1st. And I think we all want to be in a better place next year, 2021. Fit into my own clothes. Is that not the truth? I have definitely gained about 8 pounds this pandemic and have not worked out as much as I would like for various reasons. So here we are trying to all get moving in the right direction. So let's get started, I guess, because the first slide is really all about me. So folks are rolling in. How do we progress this? Here we go. Ah, me, Dr. Liz Waddell. I'm a physical therapist, if you didn't know, and I own Art of Movement Physical Therapy. So I help people all the time with creating a plan to move forward out of injury and getting back into recreation, sports, playing with your kids, that kind of thing. And so I'm no stranger to making goals for folks and helping them kind of find their prioritization and how to deal with body issues and aches and pains and start getting back into fitness and exercise. Um, and I have been in business 2 years, and to make that happen, I had to set a lot of goals and consult with a lot of people and ask for a lot of advice to get me here. I've done pole competitions in the past, and those are like crazy intensive goal setting, scheduled rehearsals and trainings and that kind of thing to achieve the level of competition that I was striving for. And as I mentioned before, I've also kind of floundered at times when I didn't create focus and direction in my life. So uh, I get kind of frustrated on occasion when I haven't gotten to where I want to be, and then I just put my foot down, get organized. Sometimes I'll just ask a friend to talk through things, and then I can usually move forward from there. Sometimes when it's just in my head and I don't verbalize it or put it on paper, it just never happens. My head is not an organized place. Paper, much, much better. So hopefully you have your paper out by now. If you use the link on the event description, there it should be a fillable PDF. So if you find that helpful, that was a really fun thing I figured out how to do yesterday, thanks to a YouTube tutorial. All right, here we go. Why are you here today? Just take a minute and really ponder why you're here. What made you show up? And you might have a deeper reason, but I just gave a couple of options on the right-hand side here. Did you just lose the habit of exercise? I know that my exercise routine looks very different now and is not always consistent. Do you have new goals that you want to set into action? You're seeing some places in your life that you could see improvements or make progress or level up, move forward, and you just want to get that going. Do you just need motivation and accountability? And that's really what Fit for December is all about. And making goals is part one. So hopefully you've had a moment to ponder and write something down on your sheet. This is what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about values and visualize the future. So we have a good, strong foundation to start building some goals. Then we're going to start with long-term goals And this can be a little more vague. It can be as specific or conceptual as you want. And I want to think about the next year. What do you want 2021 to look like for you? And then we'll hone that back into our short-term goals just for December. And then we'll finish that up with creating some action steps, talking about accountability, and figuring out what does success mean so that we know it when we achieve it. Rachel, there'll be the replay on the group later. You can check it out anytime. All right. So lots of words on this page. I'm going to give you a minute to scroll through with your eyes. And I want you to just pick 2, 3, 4 of these words that resonate with you. What are your core values? The things that you feel um, apply to your soul, your personality, who you want to be, and especially things that you want to really focus on for next year, for both this month and into next year. So I'll give you a minute to scroll through there and just jot a couple of things down. There might be many that you think reflect who you are, but then hone in on one or two that seem to be what you really want to uh, focus on through the rest of this goal setting exercise today. Do you guys need more time, or is that plenty to look through this list? Hopefully there was just some gut reactions to what seemed to be you, authentically you. All right, I'm moving along. 3, 2, 1. Okay, I'm going to ask you to dream big. What do you want to achieve in the next 365 days? Think about what your life could be if you really set some goals into action and stayed steady and focused and made it happen. So, what's the, thanks, Summerlin. What's the big things that come to mind when you start thinking about what you want to put into place in the next year? Okay, feelings. Let's talk about feelings. How do you want to feel in 1 year? Now, we could think about this in a comparison way. How do you feel today? And do you like how you feel today? Do you want to continue feeling this way? So fantastic. Is there but on the other hand, comparison is kind of tricky and tough. It's not always that we don't like how we feel now and want to feel better or improve, but maybe we just feel like we can add more depth in our world, in your life. So how do you want to feel? Photo shoot, Tara. I love that. That sounds really fun. How do you want to feel in 1 year? And this has been certainly an unusual year with depression and anxiety and panic and uncertainty. So 2021 we know is going to be very different. So just jot down a few words about how you want to feel in 1 year, because feelings and coming from your emotional state and your gut um, is a great place to start goal setting, because then we can come back to these ideas when you have more concrete goals and make sure that it kind of resonates with your feelings and your values. Melanie says, I want to quit my job early next year and take some time off. Whew, I hope you can do that. Do some fun exploring out in the wild of Colorado. That's what I imagine you doing, hiking and biking and running. Okay, who do you want to be in 1 year? So think about your, I want to say personality, I guess. Your personality is not static, it can change. And if you're, we can definitely think about if you're in a really negative, toxic environment, how that changes your perspective. But that's hopefully not where we all are. We're in a more fluid, dynamic environment of feelings of positive and negative. But think about who do you want to be in 1 year? And I provided some categories and see if something seems to fit with where you are today and where you want to be in 1 year. So, how are your relationships with your family? I know many of you probably haven't seen all of your family in quite some time. So, it can certainly be a way to connect more with people, and we might have to be creative about that for a while. Friendships, we may have really narrowed our friendships for now. Is there something in mind that we could do to make better connections there? Yes, Tara says, be an influencer. Love it. I think you are, Tara. You have some great motivational posts on your social media, and I love it. They are like real life truths. Work-life balance. That's a struggle for a lot of folks, especially now when we're just probably working from home and that Zoom life might be on your kitchen table. Totally tough. And I know I definitely want to travel more next year, probably in the fall, but it might just be to the mountains or the beach. And then sports and recreation. Definitely, this is the focus of my life in physical therapy and fitness. But does this seem to be something that you want to focus on in your life? Fleta has the goal to do a yoga training. Yes, deal with some health and foot issues and feel balanced, energetic, and loved. Oh, love it. These are some great thoughts. Okay, moving along. Now that we started thinking about the future, imagining the next year, why is making a change important to you? What are the consequences if you don't succeed? So hopefully these are creating a sense of urgency and motivation to create goals, to put them into action, and to incrementally bring about change in your life. So why is this important? Why is it important for you? Why is it important for your relationships with your family and friends? Why is it important for how you want to move forward for the rest of your life? Cassandra says, I need to work on some self-loving. Yes, give yourself a break, but also treat it well. Absolutely. Especially as women, I think I see most of you on here are women. Um, I there's a whole like imposter syndrome of, are we doing enough? Am I supposed to be where I'm at in life? And there's also that feeling of always giving and taking care of people. And there's all this outwardness and not always enough inward love and inward respect and inward nourishment. And I think that's why we're here today. I know that I am constantly having to think about all those things and making sure that I'm coming with good intentions about who I am and how I want to treat myself in life. So great thoughts, Cassandra. Okay, let's get started to the crux of why we're here. This is our 1 year goals. Define your long-term goal. If you want to be ambitious and do goals, feel free. You can always also do the process and then start over with another goal if you'd like. By this time next year, how do you want to feel? What do you want to be able to do? Or what do you want to have succeeded at? So I gave you a few options of maybe how to start this sentence. You can certainly deviate into your own pathway. And a couple of examples. I want to feel healthy and will change my diet to achieve that. I will be able to do a handstand. I will have succeeded at running a 5K. Um, your goals may be somewhat in line with these. It can be totally different. With long-term goals, sometimes it's hard to know exactly where we're going to be in a year. I know I hate that whole 5 year goal thing, like in the interview question. It's just the absolute worst. And thinking back to all my answers for those 5 year, where do you see yourself in 5 year questions? I am always wrong. I don't think I've ever been right once in answering that question. So keep that in mind and give yourself a little bit of grace with a 1 year goal. But we still want to have something to move forward towards. And I think it's totally plausible to set a goal in 1 year and make it happen. Um, but for that reason, it doesn't have to maybe be as quite as concrete as our short-term goals are going to be. So hopefully you have a couple of thoughts down on your paper, and we're going to keep talking about these. So thinking about what you've just jotted down or what's in your head, I want you to really think about, are you going to enjoy this process? Are you motivated by this goal? If it's not something that you're truly passionate about and excited about and like ready to get going, you might not be able to maintain that momentum. Now, that could be said that if you maybe not something, I'm thinking like the brushing your teeth kind of goal, flossing your teeth. You know it's important, it may not be fun. So if it's not the most maybe fun goal, how are you going to make it valuable and important and relevant to your life in a way that's going to motivate you? So I want to keep my teeth for the rest of my life. I'm going to brush and floss. I'm going to the dentist this afternoon. In fact, that's probably why I'm thinking about brushing and flossing. I don't enjoy that, but the consequences are certainly worthwhile enough to make me want to do it. But if you can find a goal that you enjoy, all the better. If you're going to love the process, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. All right. So, smartifying your long-term goals. I know I just mentioned a few slides back that your 1 year goals don't have to be super specific, but I'm going to encourage you to make it specific anyway, but with the intention of maybe giving yourself a little grace along the way if it needs to slightly shift and adjust over the next year. So, what are SMART goals? It is a nice acronym. SMART goals are specific. So, you are very clear about what your goal is. It's easy to objectively quantify. So, you know that, for example, in the first one, I will develop a regular 3 times a week morning fitness routine so I can feel healthy while also spending evenings with my family. Specific, you're going to do it 3 times a week in the morning. It's uh, no wishy-washiness about what you're going to do. You're going to get up, put it on your calendar, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and get your workout in. Measurable. So you're going to do it 3 times a week. You can definitely look over the course of a month and say, did we do that or not? Did you only get, say if it's 4 week month, February, did you only get 11 out of 12 in? And how does that make you feel? Did you only get 6 out of 12 workouts in? How does that make you feel? All right, is it achievable? The best goals are ones that are challenging, but you can succeed. If it's too easy, you're not going to feel that sense of accomplishment when you complete the goal. If it's too hard, you're likely going to be frustrated and you may bow out early before really seeing it through, or it may just be impossible. So you want to find something in that middle range of a challenging, successful goal, something that you know you can achieve. So um, one of my examples was, oh yeah, here we go. The second example, running the turkey trot next year. I think a turkey trot would be a totally achievable goal. I could certainly get into a running program, and maybe I could run more than that. But at least having that goal to look forward to would be great. If I set a marathon, absolutely no way. I don't think Liz is running marathon in 2021. Maybe a 10K. um, Relevant. Is it relevant? Going back to, is it important in your life? Is there consequences if you don't do this that are going to help motivate you? Is it enjoyable? Is it going to bring value, joy, growth to you in a way that you're going to love yourself more and be more present and open for your friends and family? It doesn't have to be fulfill all of those things, but should check some of those things on the list for sure. And the last one, the T, is time bound. I must have a deadline. If I don't have a deadline, it's not going to happen. Weddings are the best everyone goes on a diet, gets on a workout plan for a wedding because you have a date, you have a lot of expectation. Most of us can really get behind that. For me, pole competitions have been really great about like giving me a good deadline to be healthy and stick to a diet. In general, though, I have trouble sticking to a kind of a rigid diet plan, which I know the word diet is pretty loaded, so we don't want to dwell too much on that. But if I have a deadline, I'm going to be much more successful. So I said, let's do Fit for December. This is on December 1st. I'm going to get this program done by December 1st. Today's your birthday, Tara. Happy birthday. Awesome. Um, so that's why we said 1 year, but you can certainly define that however you want. Okay, hopefully that all makes sense and you're getting those long-term goals refined here. All right. So now we need to start kind of reverse engineering to get closer to our short-term goals. So look at your long-term goal and let's break that down into smaller parts. So if I wanted to run in the turkey trot next year, I'm currently running very little. So I might start with the walking program and then like a couch to 5K where I'm running and walking, and then start doing some uh, longer runs maybe into the summer and fall. So what are the steps? Oh, okay, getting to the goal by your birthday, Tara. That makes sense. um, what are the steps that you need to achieve your goal? And so if you work backwards, that might be the best way to do it. And think about where can you, and ending up today. So where are you going to start today? And then how are you going to get to your goal in a year? And I jotted down on this slide, don't worry about the details. If you aren't sure exactly all the steps, that's okay, because you may need some expert advice along the way, and the path may need to develop as you kind of work your way into the project. But hopefully you have a good enough idea of how to get from point A to point Z to go through this process of reverse engineering your long-term goal to get to a short-term goal for December. All right, now I'm going to go off a little tangent here. Are you moving every day? So this is, in my opinion, the fundamental part of Fit for December. This is like the baseline that everyone should be doing. So if this is not already in your life, I would recommend this being a sub goal or like the pre-goal. Step one, move every day, at least 10 minutes every day. Is there a day in the past week that you have literally not moved at all? Did you go from the bed to the computer to maybe eating dinner, dinner to the couch, couch to the shower, shower to bed, something like that? If you're saying yes, that happened in the past week, I want you to really think about how you can add a little bit of movement every day. Is it getting up a little bit earlier? Is it really taking a few minutes at lunch to do some moving? Is it at the end of the day? You can just hop on the floor in front of the TV and do some planks or sit-ups, air squats, what have you. Movement is a habit. It's like drinking water, brushing your teeth. If you make it a habit, you can definitely do it. So block time in your schedule every single day to move. Every single day. Sometimes I literally only get 10 minutes, but those days are hopefully are less than, not very often, but you got to do it every day. Folks who are in like, um, acute care hospitals, they get up every day with someone, the nurse or the PT, and they move every day. If you had heart surgery, you are moving the next day. So I always tell myself, like, if I feel kind of yucky and I'm like, oh, someone with like hip surgery or heart surgery, they had to get up and move today, I can do it too. Okay, and so here are some ideas. If you need some thoughts here, here are some ideas for some easy ways to just start moving. 10 minutes, that's all. Walk half a mile. It takes about 20 minutes to walk a mile, so 10 minutes, half a mile. Put on some songs and dance. Do a little circuit of squats, lunges, maybe some planks. If you have some stairs where you're at, just go up and down the stairs or step up and down onto something sturdy, of course. A little bit of yoga or Pilates, maybe you already know a sequence, or you can just hit up YouTube and find a short video, give it a try. It's only 10 minutes of your life. You can just see what's out there. Try something new. The next one's a little more cardio, jumping jacks, side shuffles, high knees, really get your heart pumping. And of course, hula hooping. Hula hooping is so hard. I should probably do it more often because I'm pretty bad at it. But the goal of getting 10 minutes movement in is that you're creating a habit and it's creating momentum. If I work out for 10 minutes, most likely I'm going to keep going, or maybe later in the day, I'll do something else. I do this with dishes all the time. I just set a timer, like you have to do dishes for 10 minutes or fold laundry for 10 minutes. And usually I'll just continue and finish the whole task. But if I don't, that's okay. At least I got 10 minutes done. It's a little bit better than it was before. And I still feel that sense of accomplishment. So you can do anything for 10 minutes. All right, back to your goals, not my goals. Let's define your short-term goals. So by the end of December, what are you going to accomplish? So I have a few ways you could start that sentence or do your own thing. This month you will, or by the end of 2020, I will have blank. I will start a weekly yoga routine. I'll start a weekly run, walk routine. Maybe you'll try something new. I will try a new Zoom fitness class this week. So hopefully you've kind of already been like reverse engineering to this point and you have some thoughts. But we're going to keep going and refine these now. Again, checking back in with the SMART goals. Can you make your goals smarter? Again, make it specific. Is it clearly defined what you're going to do? Okay, Tara, what does your yoga and workout routine look like? So Tara said, by the end of 2020, I will have a workout yoga routine. Perhaps let's talk about measurable. Is it going to be something that you do 30 minutes a day or 4+ times a week? Is it going to be building up to some sequence that you already have in mind? Tell me more. Tell me more. That's certainly achievable. I love that. By the end of 2020, Tara will have a workout yoga routine. Totally achievable. Put it on the calendar, make it happen. And relevant. Yes, definitely relevant. We're getting moving in December. And time bound, she has the end goal of by the end of 2020. So do you have all of these things? Make it smart. And let's ask ourselves again, is your goal motivating? So think about this. Pause for a second. If you were to share your goal with others, what would you tell them to convince them it was a worthwhile goal? I'm going to say this again. If you were to share your goal with others, what would you tell them to convince them it was a worthwhile goal? So I think most of us can easily justify working out and being healthy, but do you have a clear answer to that question? All right, let's talk about success. What does success mean? What works best for you? Do you need to be that 100% all in, no chance of failure? Bye, Cassandra. You can check in with the rest later in the replay. Or are you in the more of the 80% is good enough crowd? You know, have a B, get a B, have a good time is what my husband says all the time, and I cannot stand it. But lots of folks say that, and it really is sometimes the best advice. What I personally find is that the 100% all in is best for really short goals, like things that you can do this month. I'm going to work out 3 times a week for the rest of December, and you're going to put it on your calendar and make it happen. And unless you get sick or something crazy happens, you can probably make that work. So having an expectation of doing it to a T is Great for short term. For the year goal, really think about what's going to work best for you. Do you really need to stay on track for the full year? Um, or do you need to give yourself a little more grace and allow for a little bit of deviation and modifications of your goals along the way? There's no right or wrong. It's just whatever works best for you. But if you can at least define that, then you'll either set yourself up to be all in if you're that 100% person, or you're going to go ahead and give yourself a little bit of grace to maybe if you want to get 12 workouts in this month, but you say, okay, as long as I get at least 10, I'll feel like I've accomplished that goal. That way, if you get 12, that could be like a bonus goal. And if you get 10, that's going to be a good accomplishment as well. So think about there's a best way for your mindset, for the way that your motivation works. Okay, let's reflect about this for a moment. In the past, when you worked on goals, when you worked on your fitness routine, your health, whatever seems relevant for what you're focusing on today, um, whether you were successful or not, is there something that you learned through that process? Are there lessons to be learned from your past efforts that you can implement today with your goals? What will you do differently this time? Or is there something that really worked that you definitely know that you need to implement and do this time? So, is there something that you have already had to suffer through or learn from or succeed from doing that you can use today? And moving forward from that, now looking to the future, imagine your future self who has been successful at reaching your goals. So imagine yourself at the end of December or the end of next year, and you have completed the goals that you've written down today on that sheet of paper. What has it taken in your mind to achieve this goal or these goals? Can you imagine the steps that that person in 1 year from now or at the end of the month has taken to be successful? And are you doing that? Have you put that on your paper of how to set that into action? So we have goals. We can visualize ourselves doing these goals. Is there anything that we need to think about logistics wise? Yes, Melanie, I wanted you to be that person in the photo. Um, what tools and resources do you need? So, all right, on your sheet, I have what do you need to be successful? This is a good spot for, are there any barriers that you need to deal with? Do you need to go on Amazon and purchase something? Do you need to find a online group fitness program or a yoga teacher certification, sign up for a class card at a local fitness studio? Do you need to find like an outdoor group fitness class or a gym that you can go to? Do you need to hire a personal trainer? Are you not able to move comfortably or not sure if you're doing things right? Would physical therapy be the best bet? Do you need to get a new outfit to make you feel ready to move? Comfy shoes? Do you need to like find a babysitter? What do you need to do to make this happen? And if you have a lot of items or a big item here, make it a goal, you know? Get those shoes, check it off the list, feel good about yourself. And that kettlebell shows up from Amazon, feel really good about that. Whatever you need to do. And of course, we need to schedule it. We've mentioned this a few times already. Write it down, log off the time, and emphasize to family and coworkers that this is your time, that you've made a goal that you are going to take a 10-minute walk every day at lunch. That's your time, that no one can interrupt you or take it away from you. Because I know this happens all the time. We give our time away. People take your time. And sometimes we don't have the energy to say no, or we know that we're kind of behind and it makes you feel better to get to work on something else instead. But make know what your priorities are and make it happen. Set yourself up for success. some other thoughts. So if something on this list is resonates with you, write it down. Do you need to set out your clothes the day before? I know I do that if I need to get up early. Do you need to allow more time? I know that I can probably get myself to a class in 5 minutes, but if I give myself 15, 20 minutes, make sure I get my water and I pack my snack and make sure I have all the things, then I'm not feeling rushed and overwhelmed in the process. So pack snacks and water, be ready for your activity. Can you invite a friend? Is there someone that you can do this with, even if it's virtual? Say, hey, I'm going to meet you on Zoom to do this class. Way more fun that way. I've done that a few times, and it's kind of fun to have a buddy, even though they're on another box in your Zoom chat. Announce it on Facebook. I know some of you may feel like this is like ridiculous, you know, the food people and the gym selfies, but there's a reason people do it, and it totally works. The gym selfies are not just an ego narcissistic thing. Um, we need that accountability, and if you can do that on Facebook, take a photo of your progress or lack of progress, your starting point. That's okay. Um, See if it helps, and say why that it's important to you. You can say it to yourself. You can talk to yourself out loud, and you can say it out loud to others, either verbally to your family and friends or on social media in writing, or make a Facebook Live. That'll definitely be a commitment. All right, and then ask for help. No one gets all the way through life with their own resources. We all need help. We all need to rely on other people to complement our skill sets, to help us talk through the path, to help us refine our focus, to help us stay on track with our goals. So, do you need help working on a specific skill? Maybe your squat's kind of funky and you need someone to look at it so that your hips don't feel pinchy or your knee doesn't hurt. Maybe you're not sure how to get started. You're like, I'm not really sure with my nutrition program. You should probably find a nutritionist, a dietitian to give you some tips, to maybe give you a shopping list to start with. Do you need a program? I know lots of folks who really love regimented workout programs, and they can implement it on their own if they have, the structure, and that all exists. Do you just need motivation? Do you need someone to just like be your cheerleader? Um, and if you're having pain or discomfort, get that figured out. Come see me, schedule a PT appointment. That's definitely gonna not keep you moving if your body's kind of fighting back. And if you're not sure if you're doing something correctly, ask a friend to look at you, a coach, personal trainer, physical therapist, video yourself doing it, send it to me. Make sure that you're doing things well and you're gonna keep your body healthy and not crunchy and stiff and yucky. All right, let's finish up, guys. Do it. Do you know what you're going today? Do you know what you're going to do today or tomorrow to begin putting your goal into action? What are the first steps? What is the first step? Do you know when you're going to do that first step? Is it today? Is it tomorrow? This weekend? Know what that is. All right, that's the end. You guys did it. Do we have any questions? I'd love to hear what your goals are and check in with your progress. So if you haven't already, sign up for Fit for December. The link, I can add the link in here. I can put it in the comments. Most of the activity is going to be in this Facebook group, but by signing up, you're going to get a little bit more accountability via email. And I'll just know that you're committed to the process. So I can't write, type, and talk at the same time. There we go. Great. All right, guys, have a lovely day. I'm going to sign off if no one has any questions. and we'll check in. I'll check in with you in a few days and see how it's going. Bye.